Hello, how do you do? Welcome to the Three Count Podcast. Diego Trabajador here. Let me take off the helmet first. Getting a break from the work. They're doing a lot of work outside, so it's the only time I have, and I don't have my cafecito. So let's go ahead and do this. I will answer the questions. El señor Red Dog will be doing the presentation for the most part. Bueno.
I'm in fashion, roll with cold passions.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. But like every good Sherpa, which by our 280th episode, you would just, do as you would for your tribal chief and just acknowledge me. But like every good Sherpa, like I said, it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring today? You can find this man at Invictus. You can find him at Limitless, Intense, Blitzkrieg Pop. You can find this man at Pro Wrestling Magic. You can see him having fun at House of Glory and the Wrestling Open. He is the jack of all trades. Mi amigo aquí, Diego el Trabajador.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Currently, right now, everything's a little bit on the quiet side. Hopefully, it will stay that way for the rest of the show.
Bueno. I don't think people understand that both you and I are bilingual. I know my normal audience would be like, what are they saying?
Well, don't worry. If they cannot understand, I will try to say it in as much of the Native American language as I can.
bet. All right, man. Well, listen, so we first met we actually met at a couple different places, but we really met each other at the Wrestling Open up in Massachusetts. And then we got to work each other at Invictus, which actually was such a huge honor to be able to get to share the ring with you as well. And I just wanted to put out there right off the jump, like the creativeness that you had for your mind and for our match was so much fun. I had such a blast doing it.
See, when it was very well, I had to come up with something because it's very unexpected to fight somebody of your skill stature. Because I know you have been before in the military before, so I have to keep up as much as I can with that.
Yeah, it's funny because like I put our scene out. I put a clip out of our match, the dance scene that we had, and that got over so well with everybody. Everybody was laughing so much about it. I was like, well, great. I'm glad that people are joining the work that two young, hungry lions are trying to, put out there.
Oh, I remember talking with the what is it, El Señor Alex, backstage. He fully entertained. He loved the fact that it was. He loved the fact that it was very different from a lot of the serious fights that had happened afterwards. It bordered on the what do they call it? The sports entertainment side for the most part, which is really good. That's a really good compliment. I like that.
Yeah, I definitely got that told too. That I was the exact words from Alex was, "I was thoroughly sports entertained," and I'm glad. It was a great way to start the show. Because even going back and watching, I was like, yeah, I could definitely see like the atmosphere for Invictus is definitely like fight heavy central, and to have a match like ours, like right in the middle or like right at the beginning, to set it off with the crowd like just being electric for us was cool, man. So I definitely appreciated sharing the mat with you.
Oh, muchas gracias. Likewise as well, my friend.
But let's get into this, man. So we put ourselves over. Great. If you guys want to, you guys could check that out on IWTV, part of his Victus. But more importantly, and it's also on Let Us Fight. So more importantly, I got to know, though, who is Diego?
Oh, Diego Trabajador. I come from a long line of fellow trabajadores. It is in the blood, as my brother would say, that we have go to the work and we do the work as best as we can and as hard as we can. So it doesn't matter if it's rain or snow, if we're not feeling good today, or if we are feeling very old today, we will still try our best to head to the work, termina, finish whatever it is in front of us. Because as mi abuelita used to tell me, you finish the work that is given to you, más o menos.
It's funny. It's funny, like listening because it reminds me so much. Like my mom was the same way. She'd always be like, she'd always talk to me about like just putting into work and grinding and working and like making sure that you pay it forward, right? Pay all the respect forward, and it's something about you know our moms, the madres, or la abuelitas también. They
Mm.
instill this grind in us that we have to keep pushing no matter what and keep going as far as we can. So getting to speak with somebody and talk to them about family and how important it is and that the grind has to stay as real to put the work in, I definitely can relate to that. Did we lose you?
Very. Oh, yeah. Oh, every black. Oh, oh, diablos. Okay. No, I the connection there for a second. I don't know. Uh, well, it reminds me of like me. Used to be everywhere all the time. My mom always help when we were little kids. Mita, mucho help. Always helping around the house, cleaning and cooking and taking care of the babies. Uh, is very. It's always very nice to see them whenever they're relaxed, and you get to relax next to them. And then, oh, time's up. Gotta go back to work. Sometimes you help them out with the work. Afterwards, uh, actually, no. Oi. Uh, Sorry, it is very disorientating when it goes black and you see the circle.
Right.
But, it's nice the feeling to have when you have the familia right there next to you, helping you to push you forward. Uh, I can see you. You have a family of your own right now, right? With your daughter and your wife, I think, right?
Yeah, so I definitely can relate to as far as like how work goes and like, sometimes you have your family there and then you like sit down, you spend like a couple minutes with them and then you're like, "Oh, I got to go. Got to get somewhere else. I got something else to do." So there's always like a lot of jobs to be juggled and stuff like that. And it's cool to be able to see somebody else is just like they appreciate that same way. They live that same lifestyle, that get up and go style. So I definitely like it. But yes, I do have one daughter and I have my wife and one dog.
Oh, yeah. Do I was going to ask if you have a plan to have another little chiquito, a little another babyito on the way, or if
No, 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 no. One and
it's
done. Like that's it. We
going to
we out
be
this game.
one.
Yeah.
Little Trabajador Junior, over here. Maybe I teach him how to hold a hammer. Seems like a smart
It's
idea.
it's funny, man, because like even like they were saying that you set up the ring, you had to go to another job, then you came back, and then you had our match. So yeah, the work never stops for you. So how do you find time to just like sit back and relax and think about having a little one?
It was called oh, here we go. And anytime I have a little moment of reprieve for the little coffee breaks, it pops into my mind, and then immediately going back to work. But then I go to sleep like everyone else. 6 hours, 7 hours, and then sometimes they give me the days off. Sometimes I feel sick, and then I have those days off. That's when I start thinking about like, oh, maybe I should take another step to see if I can find a family of my own. Have a little trabajador junior, maybe a little dog, señorito trabajador. It'd be pretty
Definitely,
cool.
definitely. I love the dad life. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, how did you get into the sport?
I mean, it, it's really it's interesting when I think about it now because coming from a long line of people who do a lot of work. Mi abuelita had told me that she had wanted me to work all the jobs that I can, complete the jobs that have not been completed yet. And when I think about it more, I look at my uncle, mi tío. For those of you who are not familiar with the language, I looked at my tío, my great my father's side. And, oh, he was lucha libre, and he had the move where he grabbed a guy by the arm, he flipped him over like the guys in the karate, and that was his super move. And I think, oh, that's interesting. That's one of the jobs that I have not yet completed, is to fight another person in lucha libre style. So I go up to my grandma. I go, Abuelita, I would love to do the lucha libre. And she looked me dead in the eyes like I was crazy. She was saying, "Are you crazy? You want to go flying over up with nobody to catch you and break your neck?" I was like, "See, Abuelita, it's interesting." And then she looked me again. She like, "You want to get beat up for a living?" I said, "What kind of?" And see, Abuelita, I would like to fight. I'm not going to get beat up all the time. And she looked me dead in the eyes like, "Okay, si tú quieres hacer el trabajo, ándalo, hazlo. Do it to the best of your abilities, and be sure that you come home at least once, twice, maybe 3 times with a belt, a little shiny belt to achieve. Even if you lose the belt, at least you have the memory of the belt still there. So now I go set off. I have to go train. I go to my gym and I lift up all the paint cans. I lift up all the woods that are all over the place, the boards. I try to do as much exercises as I can. Now I feel as though there might be extra added on later on, because not only do I need to have the strength to lift the people up, and now I have to have the skill to actually fight the people, because I don't know how to not good, but I know how to punch only. My kicks still need a lot of work. That's why I still go to the House of Glory to study the way that they fight, the way that they move, and I've started to learn a little bit better with every experience that's coming around. There's no outside.
I like it. I like it. No, House of Glory is an incredible place to learn from. There's a lot of great talent that comes out of there, and a lot of people that should be get put over that really haven't seen yet. So like yourself, obviously Private Party is really well known for being at House of Glory. Mr. James is another person that a lot of people don't really talk about, but they should be, because he's an incredible talent. But I also got to know, because you're at House of Glory, people know that they train in a luchador style. What's the worst bump you've taken?
I repeat the question. I lost connection.
Oh, I was saying that everybody knows like House of Glory trains some luchador, right? So what's the worst bump you've taken?
The worst bump that I have taken. Let me see. Let me think. I believe it was a pile driver. Yes, it was definitely the pile driver. So I go to and it was this past it was this 2 weeks ago, I believe, Saturday. They had there was a man. What was his name? Let me look it up real quick. I believe it was Thomas Channing. Por favor. Y, this. Channing Thomas. There. I had the words mixed up. So I go there and I'm coming to fix the ring and all that, build it up, and hopefully, put on a fight. So when I go to fight him, I always headlock. Always. Very close to his chest. No time to breathe. Once I finally get time to breathe, he changed it on me. Put me a pile driver, and at this moment, I had never taken a pile driver without my helmet on. I take one pile driver once, I had my helmet, saved my life. You got to think safety first with all these things. But this time, I have no helmet on, get me in the pile driver, mi cuello, totally squished. Had to, as soon as I go backstage, took a plunger to kind of stretch out. It's not what the tool is used for, but it was easy there. So
No, I definitely understand. For those who are wondering what happened, it's just breaking up on the internet side. But so Channing Thomas gave you pile driver, and then you had to use your plunger to straighten your neck back out.
See,
It's a very
they,
unique way of like being able to like stretch the neck back out.
boy, boy. The
All
thing
right,
is,
well
I
then,
cleaned it before I even had to use it.
yeah, definitely. I've definitely seen you use that plunger in ways that it's not meant to be used, uh, especially sticking on the back of people's heads.
Oh, hold on. I think it's.
Oh,
Where is the connection? Oh,
I got you.
I think maybe if I lift it up like this, they could get more. Oh, more signal. Okay. So no, there are times where I get nervous about that because the tools are supposed to be used for the fixing and dismantling and remantling all that. Uh Así que me da miedo. I get a little scared that the union is going to come knocking on my door. It's like, hey, you can't be using that for that kind of stuff. Where are you? What are you doing? They But then again, sometimes I have to warn them ahead of time. Listen, they go pelea. I have to use this tool. Do you mind if I, bend the rules a little bit by using the tool in a way that it's not supposed to? They seem okay with it. They seem okay as long as I tell them ahead of time. You know.
I got you. I got you. So, hey, so what's one of the hardest lessons you've had to learn being in the business so far?
The hard lesson would be the travel and
Mm,
the time to put in because there are times where, for the most part, I go to work overnight and then I come home, maybe like sleep for 2, 3 hours in después, I go to the other places. So right now, working around the schedule, maybe there will be time where I will, have new job that will give me better scheduling time, but you never know. It's very unpredictable with the jobs right now. Uh, but definitely the hardest part is just the travel, you know, making
yeah.
time to be able to do all this stuff and at the same time get the exercise in too.
Yeah, I don't think people really understand about that concept of like you have to be very meticulous with your time. Like you have to be very on point with your schedule because if you're not, like one wrench can just throw everything out the window, especially
See,
like I know for me it's like I get up, I go to work, I have to train and then I'm training others and then I'm also like back here doing the podcast and I tell everybody like my time is valuable, like super valuable because I still on top of that, you're still being a dad, still being a husband, still being a care of dogs. Like there's
mm,
always a lot of work to be done and you have to have your schedule on point to be able to be able to do anything. So I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I plan things out like 2, 3 weeks in advance just to make sure that I'm hitting everything on point. But yeah, definitely, it's something that people don't talk about a lot. But yeah, the traveling and the scheduling is super important.
and that's actually a smart idea that I have to do now. Write the schedule. It is pues, make it an order of like, okay, 10 o'clock, I do this because for me, natural to just ir a trabajo and then just do everything that you do throughout the whole day and then just come home and very sporadic, as they say, that life can be very random or but I think that is a good point to do the scheduling so that everything can be in order. You make and you have more time to do to fill in with a lot of for example, I want to learn how to play the piano, but mi trabajo and the lucha libre and the exercise don't really leave me that much. So if I put the time, okay, 10 o'clock for 10 minutes piano, maybe I could do that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat because like something that I want to start doing. Me quedé toca like the guitarra. So
Oh,
I have my own axe just sitting right there in that back closet. And I love playing the guitar. And I don't really get that much time to play it as much as I want to. So I'm just like, all right, I have to set down time to decide to read a book first and then to be able to go play my guitar. And then also if I
hmm.
want to go play video games because that's also something I find very important. So I'm like, I feel like I'm always scheduling my time like, hey, fun time is from this time to this time.
See. Have you played the video games? The current one, the new ones that come out right now.
Yeah, actually, right now, what's in my hard drive right now? Let's see. I know I have the new Call of Duty already downloaded, just waiting for the time to hit so that I can start playing that.
Cool.
I do have WWE 2K22 on the
Ah,
Xbox One, so if people want to get in and you can actually play as me as a character too. Have that uploaded. But yeah, so there's couples, but not really. Just lately, I've been wanting to go back through like Xbox 360 games. Like I was just playing Dante's Inferno because I love that game. That
mm.
game's so much fun.
Are there any of the new games that you are looking forward to by any chance?
Actually, I need to get me. So by the time that I think this episode will be out fairly soon. Gotham Knights,
Ah, the Batman. Sí,
the
sí.
Batman. See,
Uno
Batman
de
is
mis
definitely on
superhero
the go.
favoritos.
Oh, I love superheroes. I'm a massive superhero fan too. Uh, Let me ask you, what kind of advice would you give to upcoming wrestlers?
Ah, the most important advice: find find a good school. Sometimes there are times, yes, you can learn on the job. You go to these wrestling shows, you help set up the ring, and then you talk to the other wrestlers, and they enseña how to do the roles correctly. Everybody has their own ways of doing the roles. Everybody has their own ways uh of doing the ¿cómo se llama? Where they grab each other, the lockup. Yes,
Mm,
because you want to be on the defense for that. Um, so yes, you can learn on the job, but it's much more beneficial to go to a school, to meet other people who are in the same mind that they want to go up to the TV, either to WWE or to AEW, maybe a viajar a Japón and go to the NJPW too over there. Um, then you get to test what you learn with your peers against your peers. Porque like my sensei, Amazing Red, he used to tell us all the time, iron sharpens iron. Tiene que tener cuidado con eso with real tools, but you get the idea. You get to sharpen your skills against people that have still sharpening their skills as well. And especially whenever you're going against either the sensei or the other sensei, el ¿cómo se llama? El Mantequilla, Evander James. They also, my senseis, they have the more skills of the shows and whatnot. They get to test you on everything you do when you go into the fight.
mm. Yeah, no, it is definitely cool to be able to like learn things out of school. So definitely, yeah, my teacher himself, I learned from Sickend, who was studying under Ruckus. So to be able to learn those lessons as well, it's massive and it's definitely important. Like you got to be able and then test those lessons out that you've learned. And like you said, iron sharpens iron. So that's just one thing that I live by that motto. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with it. Hey, so you've been to a lot of different locker rooms. You've seen a lot of different places. So what I need to know is one do and one don't of the locker room.
When do and when don't. Uh, oh, you mean like the rules in the locker room, right?
Yeah. One do and one thing you should do in the locker room, and also one thing you shouldn't do in the locker room.
Okay. So when you go to the locker room, first time you be there, it is like any normal job. You want to, you're new to the job. You want to introduce yourself to all the people. So you go up to people, you look them in the eye, you give them the good handshake, so that they know that you are, a good working person, un bien trabajador, as they say. Uh, what you don't want to do is you don't want to. Uh, I think one of the senseis used to tell me, yes, you can go to the locker room and chit chat with the people, but do not try to be too uh playful, because there are times where people they can be playful, but then they need to come back to business. They have to
Mm,
come back to, okay, what are we going to do? This is how we're going to fight. Uh okay, show me how you throw that kick. Oh, okay, I know how to take that kick now. You don't. You always want to be prepared. Um, but so muy importante, shake hands with everybody. Make sure you tell them your name, todo eso. Most importante, don't play around too much. There's a time for play. There's a time for work. Right now, we gotta do the work. After the show, after the fights are over, you know, Go a tomar un poco de cervezas, not too much because then sometimes you have to drive home.
Yep.
Uh, if you live close by, you are super lucky. You just go to sleep after the cervezas, pero
I like it. Yes, 100%. I think it's one of those things too. Is like you got to remember too. Like you're in a professional setting, so be a professional. But then at the
mm,
same time, like listen, this is all play. Like at the end of the day, it's all play. Like we still gotta be serious, right? Because it is a job, but it
sí,
is
sí.
play. Like we still want to have fun. So definitely
Sí,
have fun, but not have too much fun because it's just like those. If you drink too much, then you become sloppy. Like
sí. I'm starting to have flashbacks to when I was not so much a trabajador. Yeesh.
I can relate. I've had those nights where I don't know how I got back home or what happened.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yo, so listen, we're gonna get into the best segment of the three count podcast. It is the three count podcast, 10 count questions. And Mr. Trabajador, this is how it works. I'm gonna fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast. Whatever your answer is, that's your answer.
Ay, okay.
Bueno. So let's put on the imaginary timer for added pressure.
Wait, hold on. Let me get my helmet on. I don't know how hard these questions are going to hit, so.
And in the words of Mike Goldberg, here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
Raw. Definitely when I was a little kid, watch it all the time.
Favorite cartoon?
Oh, da, 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 da. Spider-Man, the one from the 90s. The one day he
Hey,
was a
let's
big musculos.
go. Yes. Uh, Lowe's or Home Depot?
Oh, it's too hard to answer on that one. Uh, which one has the better? Home Depot. See, they have more variety. I want to say right now, but Lowe's has the doors. No. Oh, I, uh, uh, you know what? I will say a mom and pop shop on the around the corner. They always conveniently open.
I like it. I like it. I was like, because we've seen your shirt design before. We know what that looks like.
Oh,
What's your favorite movie?
Mortal Kombat. The one with the old one where they have the scorpion had the snake coming out, instead of the
Hey,
actual rope.
1995 version. Let's get
See,
it.
see?
Yeah, we got a lot of conversations we're gonna have after this.
Oh,
So Batman or Superman?
ay, diablos. Although Superman can fly, that's really useful. But I like a Batman more. Es un ser humano. He's human.
I like it. Let's go. Favorite actor?
Diablo. Oh, Jackie Chan. See, Jackie Chan with all his movements.
I love it. The Avengers or X-Men?
Oh, Stardom. I say X-Men. It's originalmente what I used to watch when I was a baby.
Okay, I got you. Favorite podcast?
Oh, diablos. There was a podcast, some dude from Texas. Se llama the Pizza Party Podcast. He talk about the cartoons and how they animate y todo eso. So that's really interesting how they.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I love that one. Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Come on. Now that I think about it, but he's busy. Maybe You know what? I would love to see El Señor James on this podcast. I know he's busy with his school right now. They had just opened up, but it would be interesting to see how he teaches.
Yes, I am all about that life. And last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this podcast. Favorite curse word?
Oh, se llamó. Oh, diablos. It is a word. It is a word in the country of mi familia. ¿Cómo se llama? Curse word. Huevonazo. There we go. I don't. They always. Whenever I would always go around, acting very foolish, they would say, "Oiga, huevonazo, stop it." So I know to stop after they say that one word.
Yo, I
I was
know, like
never
for
allowed.
me, it's
Yeah.
funny for me because my family is all from Panama, right? And mi familia se vive en Panama, and they have different words, right? Pero mi amigos that se vive in Nebraska se dice, oye, Chingao. Like, okay.
I did not know. I did not know Chingao was from Nebraska. Holy crap!
No. Well, my friends are all from Mexico that were saying that to
I
me.
see.
So I'm like, damn. I was like, we have to go that far? That's crazy. Yo, so those are all my heavy hitting questions. So the last thing I need from you is to let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
You can find me on the Facebook, Diego Trabajador. You can find me on the Instagram, El Trabajador. I forgot to put the Diego, but I will fix that possibly later. También, I am on the Twitter, Diego Trabajador. Recently did the changing. There we go. Instagram, Diego, El Trabajador, Working Man. See, you can find me all the way over there. YouTube, I have a YouTube page. I put the fights up there. I put the highlights up there. Maybe promo. I don't know yet. But you search, you put the Diego El Trabajador on the YouTube, and you will see me with my hammer and my jacket. Very nice.
Well, there you have it. He gave you his handles. He even told you about his YouTube channel. He even told you where you can find all of his stuff. So you know what that means. Like everybody's favorite part of a wrestling match, we gotta take it home. Because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I'm your host, Clever Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And like every good Sherpa, like I've said I am, it's never about me. It's about who's entering. And so who's entering the ring? You see him right there, right next to me, the working man himself, Diego El Trabajador. And you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you're legitimately just following on all of our social media platforms. You're subscribed to our YouTube channel. You're following us on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. You're even buying our merch that you can find on ProWrestlingTees.com. Or you're buying my specific merch that you can find on foryourwear/red-dog. You guys know the rest. Do all that. Tell your friends about us. You're getting us all the love. Or you're really just kind of waiting for this episode to end. You're waiting for the outro. And then you're choosing another episode to listen to. Peace. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3countpod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. At ProWrestlingTees.com/the 3 Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.